Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Probably you saw already my last video when we started Agentic coding with Xcode. It was on Tuesday evening around 9 p.m. Now we have Friday 6 p.m. and it's still coding. So it's now 3.5 days. We tried to create an app just with Xcode Agentic coding with no real interference by myself, just answering the questions or give permissions, and it still needs time. So still not all functions I provided in the agents MD are implemented, and it has still, not at the moment, but again and again, compile errors. I also let it create a whole class diagram to get an overview what it created. And I have to say, the amount of classes and the amount of code it created, it's amazing. But it's still not full functional. I had some time in between where I could test the app on the device. There were a few basic functions already there. I have to say the UI design is pretty good. It's amazing. They really copied the complete design I provided for. Of course, I pulled the part of the app already and provided a screenshot. And this is so good so far. But I have to say my conclusion after now 3.5 days of agentic coding is, as I thought before, and it's really good to create an MVP, to create a really good first draft, or a frame or a grid you can start coding on, so you don't have to start on greenfield. You have a good quick start. For that, I have to say it's quite good. But all this marketing, get your app done in 5 minutes or in 5 hours or in 5 days, I have to say is for I wouldn't say really complex app, but for an app with an usual complexity. For a use case, I see you need an app. I mean, you can basically build apps that are so simple. You really don't need, because the use case is so simple. But when you try to build a quite normal app with a good use case that really automates things for you, I would say agentic coding is a good helper, but still not something that really helps you to complete your app. And what I discovered is that, probably only new for me, but when you look at your GitHub profile, you usually see here your contributions on every commit. And that's interesting because agentic coding, so Xcode, is doing all the commits and pushes by itself, but you don't see any contributions on GitHub. So it's like GitHub is ignoring the code that is created by the agent. Probably the assistant of the agent's MD. I don't know. But this was something interesting that I discovered so far. I mean, it's pretty amazing to watch Xcode agents coding for you. And it's also interesting the way it's sometimes choosing to change things in your project, like going to the terminal and change the file name, for example. So it's different. It's not the way I would do it. In the end, the result is what does matter. But it's so far so really interesting. Probably it gets better with the time, but after 3.5 days, I came to the conclusion that this is so far still on the same level like ChatGPT before. We just have to do your copy paste, so you don't have to do that anymore, okay? But the quality of code it generates in the end for me is the same. Give me your opinion in the comments and see you soon. Bye.